Hi everyone! Today we'll be learning about the greatest common factor. Here's today's FLT. Given two numbers, I will be able to find the greatest common factor of the two numbers. But before we talk about the greatest common factor, let's talk about factors in general. What are factors? So factors are the numbers you multiply to get another number. For example, 2 and 6 are factors of 12 because 2 times 6 equals 12. But a number can have a lot of factors, like 12. Notice here that 3 and 4 are also factors of 12. So first, let's practice how to find factors of numbers. Here it tells us to list all factors of 24. So we think, what numbers multiply to 24? Let's write it out. So 1 is always going to be a factor. And I know that 1 times 24 equals 24. So these are factors. And I go in order, what about 2? Yeah, because 2 times 12 equals 24. Next, what about 3? Yeah, because 3 and 8, so 3 times 8 equals 24. 4 is also a factor because 4 times 6 equals 24. But let's say if I tried 5, there's nothing where 5 times something equals 24, so I know that's not a factor. And then 6, we actually already wrote down, so we've gone through the list. Here are the factors of 24. So let me write it in order from least to greatest so that it's easier to see. So we had 1, then 2, 3 and 4 were also factors, 6, 8, 12, and then also we have 24. So these are the factors of 24. So the most simple way to find all factors of a number is to start from 1 and be like, is 24 or whatever number divisible by 1? Is it divisible by 2, 3, 4? Oh, but not 5, and going like that in order. In our second example, we must list all factors of 36. So what are numbers that multiply exactly to 36? And this time I'm going to write it a little differently. You guys can write it however you'd like, whatever way is most comfortable for you. So again, I know 1 is always a factor, and then 1 times 36, right? Those are like the factor pairs. I also have 2 and 18, because 2 times 18 is 36. 3 is also a factor, because 3 times 12 is 36. 4 is also a factor, 4 times 9. And then lastly, we also have, oh, I didn't write this really well. Okay, we have 6 in the middle, right here. 6 is also a factor because 6 times itself, so 6 times 6 equals 36. So I have this long list of factors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18, and 36. I was able to list out all factors of 36. And until you get used to it, it might be handy to have either like a multiplication table or even a calculator near you, because it'll help you make sure that the number you chose is indeed a factor. Like here, if you did 36 divided by 5 in the calculator, you wouldn't get an exact number. Like, you wouldn't get a whole number. So that's how you know that 5 is not a factor of 36. When you divide by a factor, the answer is supposed to be a whole number with no remainder, no decimals, no extra fractions, nothing. So try this one on your own on Edpuzzle. Please list all factors of 16. So now that we have a better idea of factors, let's look at greatest common factors. What are these? So we have the greatest common factor, which sometimes we just call GCF for short. And let's break this down word by word. So like we just talked about, a factor is a number that you multiply with. So like 2 and 3 are factors of 6. And then common means that it's something that's shared with something else. Like if you share something in common with your friends or with your classmates, common. And then greatest simply means the largest. So basically the GCF is the largest factor that 2 or more numbers share in common. For our first example here, we are asked, what is the greatest common factor of 24 and 32? So what's the greatest factor, the largest factor that these two numbers share in common? To find out, I'm going to first list out all the factors for both 24 and 32. Try pausing the video once and writing out the factors yourselves, and then checking your answers once you're ready. So first, let's look at the factors of 24. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, not 5, but 6, and then we have 8, 12, and lastly, we also have 24. These are the factors of 24. And the factors of 32 are 1, 2, let's see, what else? 3 doesn't work here, but 4 is a factor. 5, 6, 7, no, but 8, and also 16, because 2 times 16, and 32. These are the factors of 32. So let's find the common factors. So what factors are shared? Both have the factor 1, 2, they don't share 3, but they do share 4, and also 8. And then what is the greatest common factor here? The largest common factor is 8, so we know that our GCF is 8. Again, the greatest common factor here is 8 because it's the largest factor that 24 and 32 share in common. Next, let's find the greatest common factor of 15 and 30. Again, we're going to start off by writing out all the factors for both 15 and 30. So first, let's take a look at 15. The factors are 1, 3, 5, and 15. And then for 30, we have the following factors: 1, 2, let's see, also 3, 5, 6, and then 10, 15, and 30. So I listed out the factors for both numbers. Next, let's find what they share in common. So 1 is a common factor, so is 3, so is 5, and notice 15. Since 15 is the largest common factor, we know that this is our greatest common factor. So our GCF is 15. Again, we listed out all factors for both numbers, then found which factor is the largest one that they share in common. Please try this one on your own. What is the greatest common factor of 12 and 42? So just as a quick review, GCF stands for greatest common factor. It's the largest factor that two or more numbers have in common. Great job today, and please make sure to submit your notes on Canvas.